In 1379, in Bohemia, Jerome of Prague was born into a world ruled by the Church. He was restless, hungry for knowledge, and questioned everything. At Charles University in Prague, Jerome excelled, but his curiosity pushed him to travel. He studied at Oxford, Paris, Cologne, and Heidelberg, absorbing new ideas and challenging old ones. In every city, he debated fiercely, seeking the heart of Christian belief. Jerome saw the Church's wealth and the people's poverty, a contrast that troubled him deeply. This planted a seed of doubt. Was this what Christ intended for his Church? He returned to Prague transformed, not just as a scholar, but as a passionate reformer. He brought back more than degrees. He brought a vision for change. Jerome was ready to challenge the status quo, no matter the cost. His journey had just begun, and the risks were immense. Jerome's story is one of relentless pursuit, of truth, of justice, and of faith. He would soon become a central figure in a movement that would shake the foundations of Europe. The world he returned to was not ready for the fire he carried within, but Jerome was undeterred. The path ahead would test his courage like never before. At Oxford, Jerome discovered John Wycliffe's radical writings. Wycliffe argued that the Bible, not the Church, was the ultimate authority. Jerome copied Wycliffe's works by hand, determined to bring these dangerous ideas home. Back in Prague, he shared them with Jan Hus, and together they called for reform. They demanded a return to the Bible and denounced the Church's corruption. Their message inspired many, but threatened the powerful. For Jerome and Hus, the Bible was supreme, a belief that would soon put them in grave danger. By championing sola scriptura, Jerome set himself on a collision course with the Church. Jerome believed every Christian should read the Bible for themselves. This threatened the Church's control, which relied on keeping Scripture in Latin and out of reach. Jerome's call for access to the Bible was revolutionary and dangerous. He traveled, preached, and inspired crowds, but also drew the ire of authorities. In 1410, he was arrested for heresy, imprisoned, and narrowly escaped. Instead of silencing him, persecution strengthened his resolve. He and Hus fought for a faith that was personal and authentic. Their courage sparked a movement, but the Church was preparing to strike back. The battle lines were drawn, and the stakes were life and death. In 1414, the Council of Constance was convened to crush heresy. Jan Hus went, trusting a promise of safe conduct, but was betrayed and imprisoned. Jerome, loyal to his friend, traveled to Constance to help, but was captured and thrown into a dungeon. He endured brutal torture, chained in darkness, and starved. After months of suffering, Jerome's spirit broke. He recanted, denouncing the beliefs he once championed. The council believed they had won. But Jerome's story was not over. In the shadows of his cell, his conscience tormented him. The fire within him was not so easily extinguished. Tormented by guilt, Jerome faced a final public trial in 1416. This time he stood tall, retracting his recantation and defending Hus and Wycliffe. His speech was fearless, a declaration of faith and a condemnation of corruption. The council condemned him as a heretic. On May 30th, 1416, Jerome was burned at the stake, singing hymns to the end. "Light the fire in front of me," he said. "If I feared it, I would not be here." His ashes were cast into the Rhine, but his ideas could not be drowned. Jerome's courage inspired rebellion and planted seeds for the Reformation. Though overshadowed by others, his sacrifice was essential. Jerome's life challenges us. What do we truly believe, and what are we willing to risk for it? His light endures, a beacon for all who seek truth and freedom.